Yeah.
So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mary MJ Harper, the host of Queen Space Conversations. And today I have with me my friend, Miss Janet Birks, with J Birks. She is the founder of J Birks Consulting. And I found out about Miss Jan on my Facebook post. We were associated because we used to go to the same church together, Holy Tabernacle. And, so being friends of friends, we connected on Facebook. And I remember after our first Inspiring Women's Award Gala, I went online like the next day or a day after that. And this post scrolled across my page. And, in this post, she said, "It's been so and so many years since I recovered, and I'm a witness that you can begin again," something along those lines. And when I saw it, I said, "That's it. That's my first person for next year. I need to find out some more about her." And I went to your page, and I saw that you were, professional life coach, and started learning some more about you, and just kind of looking through your post to get a little bit more about your story. And I was like, well, this is, somebody that I definitely want to be attached to, someone that I definitely want to get to know. And I'm glad that I pursued that. Before we delve into more about you, I was telling you about my fried pies. And so I had Antrice Jones on earlier, and she tried my fried pies, and I guess I did pretty good because she came back and said, "Can I have another one? Can I have another?" So how you like that smell? It smell pretty good?
Yeah, I always smell my food first.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So I'm doing all right in the smell category.
It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
It's like the aroma of stuff.
Yes. So how'd I do with the aroma? Looks pretty good. So does it, kind of remind you of a grandma's fried pie or something like that, the way it looks?
Yeah,
okay.
Very appealing.
Okay. Well, good. Because I was wondering about that. I was like, so, you got all these professional pastry chefs and stuff like that. They make everything so pretty. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when I think back about, grandma's cooking and cakes and different things that she made, it wasn't necessarily cute.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily pretty, but it sure was good. So before we get into our interview, you have to, come on in and delve in. And, see, I have an excuse to eat more than one because I have to eat them with each of my guests. So let me know what you think.
Okay. No.
And I was just gonna say, an honest opinion.
Y'all just see me crossing my eyes.
I saw you. I got scared for a minute. Okay.
It's really good. It's not too sweet, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sometimes it's like too sweet. It is really good.
Okay.
Crunchy, warm, yum.
Okay. So, if you had to rate the crust,
10.
10 on the crust? I was going to say on a scale of 1 to 5.
Oh.
But look at Jesus. We're going to delve into it, Miss Jan.
Okay.
So, tell the people who you are, Miss Jan. So, we talked about that post that I found that led us to meeting. So, I want to know more about you. I want to know more about your story, where you came from, and how you've gotten to where you are today.
Okay. And I think that post was how long ago? Was it 3 years?
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay. So back then, my sobriety date was 16 years.
Okay.
So now it's 18 years.
Okay.
I've been clean and sober. Been clean and sober since April the 2nd, 2008.
Okay.
Clean and sober. I got clean and sober at the age of 54.
Wow.
Yeah. I had been using drugs for over 25 years, something like that. Yeah. But I just want to start by saying that I grew up in a good home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My uncle and aunt adopted my sister, my twin sister and I.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember her from Holy Tabernacle.
I believe I do. Yeah.
Yeah. My uncle and aunt adopted us when we were 6 weeks old.
Oh wow. Okay.
And my mom had other children. I had other siblings. But my aunt and uncle, you know, they were pretty well off, so they adopted us.
Okay.
Sent us to a Catholic school.
Okay.
From the 1st to the 8th grade.
Okay.
Our Mother of Mercy in Fort Worth on East Carroll Street on the south side.
Okay. Okay.
We went to the best school. We got a good education. We had the best clothes. I mean, just beautiful childhood.
Yeah.
And I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that it really doesn't matter how your childhood is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times we still stray.
Yeah.
And we still make mistakes. We still get addicted to drugs.
Yes.
We still have hard lives, right? So I started experimenting with marijuana right after high school. You know, and a lot of people call that the gateway drug. Yeah. Alcohol and marijuana and cigarettes.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily agree with that because some people do not, you know, move to harder drugs.
Right.
Some people do. But anyway, so started experimenting, and at first it was just a little weed, you know, a little alcohol. Alcohol really wasn't my thing. But eventually, you know, I'm telling you, when you play on the devil's territory,
Yes.
you know, he ain't playing with you.
No.
Right? And so my mom, my biological mother, was a nurse.
Okay.
And she was, she had exposure to prescription drugs.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, she took prescription drugs.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not going to sit up here and say she was an addict or anything like that, but she had them.
Yeah.
And whenever I had a headache or whenever I felt stressed out, she was, take this Valium, you know, here's something for your head. Not really, I guess, knowing or understanding that,
the potential.
The potential. So got addicted, to make a long story short. Over 25 years, I was addicted to opiates.
Okay.
That was my drug of choice.
Okay.
And the way I found out that was my drug of choice is because I started out with alcohol.
Okay.
I wasn't taking the pills, it was alcohol.
Okay.
Right? So when I started taking the pills, then with the alcohol, at first it was a very, very intense high.
Yeah.
Mixing those together.
Yeah.
Which actually could have killed me.
Yeah.
But after a while, the alcohol started to kill the pill buzz. I don't know who I'm talking to out there. Somebody understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when the alcohol starts to kill the pill buzz, the alcohol got to stick out. So I said, bye-bye, Mr. Alcohol. Hello, Mr. Opiates.
Yeah.
So it was opiates, it was Xanax, it was Soma, it was all of those things together. I guess I thought I was MD.
Yeah.
Like I had a, doctor, I was a doctor, a pharmacist or something, mixing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, so that's where it really, really took me down. Speeding a little ahead, one night in 2008, this is, I guess, around April, I ended up in the Stop 6 projects. Because, when you're an addict, you have a lot of different places where you go to what they call score, to get your stuff. So the projects was one of my places.
Okay.
And so I went there one night, it was around midnight actually. And I walked up to it was in the projects, I walked up to the back of the door because they got rules.
Yeah.
In the hood, you got rules. Don't come to the front door after certain time.
And you better follow the rules.
You better follow the rules, you might not get served.
Yeah.
Okay, park 3 inches from the curb. No, I'm just kidding. But I went around to the back and I'm standing out there, I'll never forget it. Standing out there with the clotheslines, the red brick. It was a quiet night. I can't remember really hearing anything. So anyway, I knocked on the door and the drug dealer came to the door. And she happened to be, back then she was a 70-something-year-old woman. And she let me in and she thought it was business as usual. I thought it was business as usual. But God had a plan.
Something different happened.
See?
Yeah.
So I got in there and you don't have to say what you just say how much you need, right? So she went back to the back and she came back to me and we were standing in her little bitty, teeny tiny kitchen.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she said, Jan, she said, you were just here. And I said, I was just here. She said, you was just here not even an hour ago. I could not remember being there at all. And that's when I knew, it had gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
This had gotten,
if you couldn't remember just being there and what did you do? What did you do with what you got?
What did I get? How much did I get? How much did I take? Where was I in the meantime?
Yeah.
I was just like, excuse me, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so she told me you were here. So I left there that night and I literally went home, fell to my knees beside my bed, and I said, God, I said, you got to help me. I said, this is out of control. I didn't say doorknob. I didn't say Muhammad. I didn't say none of them other gods. I said, God, he knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But because when I called on his name, he heard my voice.
Yes.
And I said, you got to help me.
Yes.
And listen to me. When you sincerely call on the name of the Lord for your help from your heart, and you mean it, he will hear you. He will hear you, and he will show up.
Yes, he will.
And he did. Right? So that was the beginning of my recovery. But guess what? Relapse is a part of recovery.
Yes, it is.
Because when you don't stay with it, when you don't start doing the things that you're supposed to do, you will go back.
Yeah.
And so I had good intentions. As a matter of fact, I got real busy in the church. I got the usher board. I was on the education board doing all these things.
Yeah.
But guess what? I wasn't focusing on my recovery.
Yeah.
I was doing busy stuff. I wasn't worried about going to NA or AA, another reading the literature.
Yeah.
And so I relapsed. Right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, God had mercy on me. And his grace and mercy started to be new every day. And that's when I said, okay, God, I'm for real now. I'm not playing. Because like I said, the devil will beat your butt up.
Yes.
Yeah. I went back to school at the age of 54. Barely clean and sober. My brain was still addicted.
Yeah.
But God told me to go back. And I said, Lord, what on earth,
Yeah.
And so what happened was, I went to TCC, Tarrant County College. It was the summertime.
Okay.
And in summertime, they have those intense, compact classes.
Yeah.
Because it's like 6 weeks. And it's got 3 months
everything's
worth of
crammed
work.
into it. Yeah.
And can you imagine this sick brain trying to do all of that?
Yeah.
And so I called my brother, who was actually in school at UTA. And he said, what you need to do, he said, don't take 2 classes in the summer. He said, just take the one. If you're going to do it, just take the one. And that's what I did. I took 1 class. And I tell you, I couldn't hardly sit in those classes because my anxiety
was so bad.
And this is why I always carry a bottle of water with me, because I took a bottle of water every day to that class. It helped me somehow to calm down.
Yeah.
When I wanted to jump up and run out of that class, I opened up that and I was like,
and just drink that water.
I drank that water, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh.
God got me through that, got me through the summer. Then I started taking classes in the fall. I got my associate's degree in counseling there.
Okay.
Then I moved on to Texas Wesleyan.
Yeah.
Got my bachelor's degree in psychology.
Oh, wow.
Moved on to UTA and got my master's degree in social work. And so
God.
Today I'm a licensed clinical social worker.
What do you tell women like myself, or older, who are considering or contemplating going back to school, but they think that it may be too late, they may have missed that window of opportunity? What would your advice be?
Just look at me.
Yeah.
Just look at me. If you really want to go back to school, then that's something that you should do. Some people don't want to go back to school. They want to do something different, which is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Right? But if you want to, but I'm telling you this, at the age of 54, I was a non-traditional student, which was not a bad thing, but you know what? And then with the addiction, my brain needing to heal, I had to work 3 times, 4
That's
times,
hard.
5 times harder than those youngsters because their brains were going like this. And my brain was going like this.
Hey.
But I'm going to tell you what I did. I sat in the front of every single class.
Okay.
I did not miss classes. I was not late for classes. If I had a question, I asked the question. And I'm telling you, those professors, they look at all those things. And they say, you know what, this lady, even though she's older, she's really determined.
Yes.
Because, honey, when I had to take college algebra,
Oh, Jesus.
at the age, by this time, I was, close to 55. Probably.
Yeah.
Baby, it almost caused me to relapse.
Woo.
It's like,
With your biological mom now, knowing that you were raised by your aunt and your uncle, how was that relationship or that dynamic with you and your mom growing up and also going into your recovery?
yeah, so my mom passed away 20 years ago.
Okay.
She passed away before she saw me being clean and sober.
Okay.
Yeah, but she prayed for me.
Yeah.
She prayed for me, so hopefully I'll see her one day.
Yeah.
And once my mom got saved, our relationship, of course, it got better.
Awesome.
And she started praying and interceding for us.
Yes.
So I believe she's with Jesus now.
So you never know what a person has gone through when you see them, and that's why I think your story is so important because, I just want you to look in the camera. Y'all look at her. And how old did you say?
I'll be 70 on Thanksgiving Day.
70. Miss Dan, you don't look nothing near.
What they say, you don't look like what you've been through?
You don't look like what you've been
but
through.
But baby, back then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I had to make a decision one day. I said, look, I'm going to get my life together.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to get healthy. Stop smoking cigarettes. Stop doing all the other stuff. Getting enough sleep, exercising, and just taking care of myself.
Yes.
Got my teeth fixed because I see all this was gone.
Yeah. And
I was about that big, that big around. You know what I'm saying? But God.
Yeah.
But God.
Yeah.
Same for you.
Yes, I believe it. And the thing is, the Bible says, "He who begins a good work in you is faithful to complete it."
You're gonna finish it.
Yes. And if you can, we talk about that scripture, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask and all that we think, according to the power
that worketh in
us. Yeah. We just like that scripture. I'm finding we like that scripture just on the surface. But we don't really think about how powerful that scripture is.
If it is.
Yeah. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. So that means if we can think it, if we can dream it, if we can imagine it, if we dare to speak it, he can do it.
Yes, he can. In my days of addiction, but I didn't tell you also I had a mental illness.
Oh, wow.
I had what they call COPS-D.
Yeah.
Co-occurring psychiatric and substance use disorder.
Oh, wow.
That's when you got those two things going. I had both of them. So I had major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And an addiction. So I was jacked up, y'all.
Yeah.
And the Lord, he used all of that.
Yes.
To put me in a position where I am today.
Yes.
As a drug counselor, as a mental health therapist, because been there, done that. Yes. I know how they feel. I know how they feel when they're dope sick.
Yeah.
I know how somebody feels when they are just like at their wits' end. Because my mental health had gotten so bad in my late 40s that I drove myself to a psychiatric hospital.
Wow.
They call them behavioral health hospitals now. I drove myself there. And those people kept me.
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to get myself an assessment.
Yeah.
I had been hallucinating and carrying on, depressed. Some people said, look, if you leave that parking lot, your insurance will not pay if you come back. So, make a long story short, they kept me. I was in residential treatment. And at one point, they started letting us go home for the weekends.
Yeah.
On the weekends. So we would go back to the hospital on Monday. So this one particular weekend, I went home, and at that time, I was shacking with a guy, and he was just enabler. We were just. It wasn't really toxic, I wouldn't say, but we were enabling each other.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was looking in the mirror that Monday morning, getting ready to go back to the hospital, and a voice out of nowhere, Mary, said to me, "You ought to just blow your brains out."
Wow.
No forewarning, nothing. And I didn't really think too much about it, Got back to the hospital. When you go back to the hospital, you have to check in with the nurse. And the nurse said, "Jan," she said, "how are you doing today?" I said, "I'm doing okay. I just want to blow my brains out." I repeated what the enemy had said to me.
Yes.
And so many people do that.
Yes.
And it's a cunning. It's baffling.
The devil is cunning.
He is. He's cunning. And so she said, "Okay, Dr. Galusha."
Yeah.
That was the wrong answer, y'all.
Wrong answer. With a smile or a serious face. I would not suggest doing that.
Make long story short, they put me in a padded room.
Oh, wow.
I call it a rubber room.
Wow.
Took my shoestrings, put me on suicide watch.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, because when I told this testimony at church, everybody after church, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, no.
That's a victory testimony. We overcome by the words of our testimony.
And the blood of the Lamb.
Yes.
I've overcome.
Yes.
And that's why I'm standing here talking to y'all about it. That's why I'm telling my story to you.
Yes.
I overcame all that.
Yes.
Anyway.
Listen, before we get out of here, we are going to do the 60-second questions that I'm going to ask you about.
Okay.
And so, of course, I don't have my clock, but I can count down 60 seconds in my head. So I've got a few amazing questions for you, and I just want you to just give me the first answer that comes to your head, or what's on your heart. Okay? So the first question is, the best compliment that you've ever received?
I'm proud of you.
Awesome. Okay. And what never fails to make you smile?
When I think, I thank.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. Oh, yes, when I think, I think. We're going to coin that one for you. Okay. Who would you trade places with for a day?
Who do I trade places with for a day? Oh, that's hard. I have to come back to that.
Okay, we'll come back past it. We'll come back to that one. Okay, who would you prefer to be stranded on a desert island with?
Probably my grandkids, because they make me laugh. I laugh the whole time.
Okay. And what advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Listen to your mother.